land. What comes to mind when you think of Iran? First, Iran is the land of diversities, since there are a number of ethnic groups living in various parts of the country. As a mountainous, arid, and ethnically diverse country, it's also the land of tea lovers, with the famous Persian tea kettle, which happens to be one of the cornerstones of Iranian tea culture. You should know that most meetings or formal occasions often start with a cup of tea. In addition, Iran is the land of Gulf, since the country borders the Caspian Sea, the Persian Gulf, and the Gulf of Oman. In order to better understand the country of Iran, known as the shining pearl of the Silk Road, I will simply divide my presentation into 5 parts: the land of Iran, the culture of Iran, the attractions of Iran, the food of Iran, and the sports of Iran. So now, let's go. So first, let's start with the land of Iran. Iran, officially called the Islamic Republic of Iran, is a country located in Southwest Asia, neighboring Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Turkmenistan to the north, Afghanistan as well as Pakistan to the east, and Turkey and Iraq to the west. Besides, Iran holds an important position in global energy security as a result of its large reserves of petroleum and natural gas. With an area of more than 1,600,000 square kilometers, Iran is similar to Xinjiang in size. This country is the second largest in the Middle East after Saudi Arabia and was the 17th largest country in the world in 2020 in terms of population. The geography of Iran contains 2 major mountain systems, extended northwest-southeast with Zagros Mountains, and stretching from west to east with Alborz Mountains, where you can find Damavand, which happens to be Iran's highest mountain. Karen River is by far the longest, and the plateau of Iran is covered by 2 salt deserts, the Dashti Kavir and the Dashti Lut. The capital and largest city is Tehran, and the official language is Farsi or Persian. Iran's official state religion is Islam, and the national flag is a horizontal tricolor of green, white, and red. Iranian currency is called rial, and the current exchange rate for 1 Chinese yuan is about 6,500 Iranian rials. There are 4 seasons in Iran, even though its climate varies considerably from north to south. Second, let's talk about the culture of Iran. Not surprisingly, with its 2,500-year-long culture, Iran is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in the world. Owing to its geopolitical position, it has heavy influenced cultures like Greece and Italy to the west, Russia to the north, the Arabian Peninsula to the south, and some parts of Asia to the east. So what would be considered taboo in Iran? Here are 5 things you should know before traveling to Iran. Number 1, handshake. Don't extend a handshake to a female if you are a male or vice versa, especially in public or public offices. Number 2, alcohol. Trading or drinking alcohol is illegal in Iran. You will probably face legal troubles if you do otherwise. Number 3, hijab. Women are required to wear hijabs or headscarves as stated in the Quran, while men can dress in Western attire, but it is advised not to wear shorts or short-sleeve casual shirts. Number 4, Ramadan. When Muslims fast, non-Muslims should avoid eating, drinking, or smoking in public from dawn to sunset as a sign of respect. Number 5, segregation. Pay attention to where you sit in Iran. There is what we call sex segregation in some public places. Places like swimming pools, mosques, religious sites, and public transportation. Third, let's take a look at the must-see places in Iran. When it comes to Iran's World Heritage Sites, there are now 24 UNESCO registered places across the country. Along with the capital of Tehran, the most popular tourist destinations are Mashhad, Isfahan, and Shiraz. Golestan Palace in Tehran joined the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site in 2013. This lavish palace displays a magnificent and majestic Iranian Islamic architecture for the public to see. Other tourist attractions in the capital are the Azadi Tower, a fair that was built in 1949, and the National Museum of Iran. Mashhad, the second largest city and spiritual center of Iran, is located in the northeastern part. This place is famous for the Imam Reza Shrine, one of the most sacred sites for Shia Muslims. Others are Goharshad Mosque and Mashhad Bazaar, where you can buy souvenirs and pilgrimage memorabilia. Now, on the tip of every Isfahani's tongue is an old Persian proverb. Isfahan is half of the world. Imam Square is the overwhelmingly impressive central attraction of Isfahan, which features a number of architectural wonders. Others are the 6-story Ali Kapu Palace and Sohsha Bridge due to its 33 arcs stretching across the Zheyangde River. As for places to visit, in Shiraz, Persepolis joined the UNESCO in 1979 as a World Heritage Site, which embodies the glory and the demise of the Persian Empire. It was here that the Achaemenid kings received their subjects, celebrated the new year, and ran their empire. Other must-see places are the Tomb of Hafiz, the great Shirazi poet, as well as Pasargadi. Fourth, let's move on to the food of Iran. In fact, Iranian food is acknowledged as one of the greatest cuisines of the world, and typical Iranian cuisines include a wide variety of dishes, such as kebab, stew, and soup. Kebabs, the most famous Iranian dish, has more variety than you might think. There are kebab kubide, barbecued ground lamb or beef mixed with parsley and onion. Juje kebab, grilled chunks of chicken. And shandiz kebab, grilled lamb chops with saffron rice. Kureshe is a form of stew accompanied by a plate of white rice, such as kureshe fenzanjan. Stew flavored with pomegranate syrup or ground walnuts, kureshe e banamjan. Eggplant stew with tomato and saffron, and kureshe e karsh. Besides, there are various forms of soup in Iranian ash or soup. For example, ash e reshte, noodle thick soup, ash e anar, pomegranate thick soup, and ash e do, buttermilk thick soup. Polo is a Persian word for pilaf. The typical dishes are sabzibolo, rice with chopped herbs, usually served with fish. Lubia polo, rice with green beans and minced meat. And albalu polo, rice with sour cherries and slices of chicken or red meat. Drinking is another big thing in Iran. Tea is the dominant drink. It is served for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Last but not least, let's discuss the sports of Iran. There is no doubt that Iran has a rich history in sport. Freestyle wrestling, commonly called kushti, is the national sport, and traditional Iranian wrestling is recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. Now, like in most places around the world, football is clearly the most popular sport in terms of fans. In addition to wrestling and football, other famous sports are futsal, skiing, martial arts, kabaddi, rugby, volleyball, basketball, and table tennis. It is worth mentioning that Iran became the first country in West Asia to host the 7th Asian Games in September 1974 at Azadi Sports Complex, which is the largest sport complex in Iran and which was built exclusively for the occasion. Hosting the games in Tehran presented an opportunity for some new regional countries to join the games, like Iraq, Mongolia, Saudi Arabia, and North Korea. The sporting events in which Iran won the most medals in all of the previous 18 editions of the Asian Games are wrestling, weightlifting, taekwondo, boxing, athletics, karate, wushu, judo, fencing, cycling, canoeing, and rowing. Okay, I've briefly introduced the country of Iran, yet you do need to visit this magnificent country if you want to experience the real beauty of Iran. Oh, and once you arrive, remember not to give the thumbs up. On that note, I can only say, one man's treasure is another man's trash. Thanks a lot for watching. If you really like this video, please continue to watch the following units. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Have a good day. Beirut.